Imagine a room where the light has been swallowed by a thick, heavy curtain of absolute nothingness. You are floating in a pool of water that matches your body temperature perfectly, erasing the boundary between your skin and the world around you. There is no sound, no smell, and no sight, leaving you alone with the only thing that cannot be silenced, your mind. Within minutes, the silence begins to roar in your ears. Within hours, your brain begins to realize that the external world has vanished, and it starts to panic. This is the beginning of a journey into the deepest layers of human consciousness, where the line between reality and madness becomes a thin, fraying thread. The human brain is a machine built for processing constant noise. Since the moment of your birth, your neurons have been bombarded by a ceaseless stream of data. The rustle of dry leaves, the sharp smell of rain on hot pavement, the heavy feel of your clothes against your arms. All of these signals tell your brain that you exist in a physical world. They are the anchors that keep your consciousness tethered to reality. When you remove these anchors, you do not find peace. You find a predator that has been starved of its primary fuel. Your brain begins to hunt for patterns in a void where no patterns exist. This is not just a psychological shift. It is a violent biological rebellion. As you drift in this sensory vacuum, your thalamus, the gatekeeper of your senses, becomes confused. It is used to sorting through millions of bits of information every second. Now, it receives nothing. In response, your brain turns up the volume on its internal feedback loops. You begin to hear the blood rushing through your own carotid arteries. It sounds like a rhythmic, distant drumming, a steady thud that grows louder until it fills the entire room. You can hear the mechanical clicking of your jaw and the scraping sound of your eyelids as you blink. These are sounds you have lived with your entire life, but your brain has always filtered them out to protect your sanity. In the silence, they become your entire universe. By the time you reach the 3-hour mark, the darkness is no longer black. Your visual cortex, frustrated by the lack of light, begins to fire at random. You see flashes of neon green, swirling purple clouds, and complex geometric shapes that dance across your vision. Scientists call this the prisoner's cinema. It is a desperate attempt by your mind to keep its visual hardware from shutting down. You might see a tiny point of light that grows into a magnificent forest, or you might see the face of a stranger staring back at you from the void. You are not dreaming, and you are not awake in the way you understand the word. You are trapped in a parallel reality that your own neurons are weaving out of thin air. The biological changes go much deeper than mere hallucinations. Your brain is a highly plastic organ, meaning it changes its physical structure based on the information it receives. In total isolation, the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logical reasoning and decision-making, begins to lose its grip. You lose the ability to track the passage of time. 5 minutes feel like 5 hours. 3 days feel like a lifetime. Your internal clock, the circadian rhythm that governs your sleep and wake cycles, becomes unmoored. Without the sun to guide it, your body does not know when to rest or when to be alert. You fall into a state of perpetual hazy wakefulness where your thoughts loop in endless repetitive circles. Consider the psychological weight of this deprivation. You are a social creature, evolved to survive in groups and interact with an environment. When that environment is stripped away, your sense of self begins to dissolve. You might find yourself talking out loud, just to hear a human voice, only to be terrified by the sound of your own words. You feel a hand on your shoulder when you know you are alone. You feel the bed beneath you tilt and sway like a ship at sea. These are sensory ghosts. Your brain is projecting its memories of the physical world onto the blank canvas of the isolation chamber. It is trying to maintain its balance in an environment devoid of matter, creating a hallucination of a world because the alternative, the absolute nothingness, is too terrifying for the human spirit to endure. Chemical shifts within your skull begin to mirror this chaos. Your levels of cortisol, the hormone released during times of extreme stress, start to climb. Your amygdala, the center of fear, becomes hyperreactive. Because there is nothing to focus your fear on, the fear becomes generalized. You are not afraid of a specific thing. You are simply afraid of the void itself. At the same time, your levels of dopamine begin to fluctuate wildly. Your brain is searching for a reward, a signal, a reason to keep firing. When it finds none, it begins to devour itself. Neurons that are not used begin to weaken, and the neural pathways that connect your memories to your current sensations start to fray. You might forget why you entered the chamber. You might forget what your own home looks like. In the middle of the 20th century, researchers at various universities conducted experiments on sensory deprivation. They found that subjects who stayed in isolation for more than 48 hours often experienced a total breakdown of cognitive function. They could not perform simple addition. They could not remember a short list of words. Some reported feelings of intense paranoia, believing that the researchers were plotting against them. One man described seeing a choir of dogs singing in the dark, their voices as clear as if they were standing right beside him. This is the brain's ultimate defense mechanism. It would rather invent a nightmare, a world of singing dogs and shifting shadows, than face the cold, silent truth of the vacuum. When you finally emerge from the isolation, the world does not look the same. The first sliver of light feels like a physical blow to your eyes. The sound of a bird chirping is as loud as a gunshot. The texture of your own skin feels alien and overwhelming. It takes hours, sometimes days, for your brain to recalibrate and accept the external world again. You have seen what lies beneath the surface of your consciousness. You have seen the parallel reality that your brain creates when it is left alone. It is a reminder that our perception of the world is not a direct reflection of reality, but a carefully constructed story that our brain tells us every second of every day. You are the architect of your own universe, but that universe requires constant maintenance from the world outside. Without the sun, the wind, and the voices of others, the architecture collapses into a swirl of hallucinations and fear. It is the sensory world that keeps us sane, and it is the noise of life that keeps the darkness at bay. If you found this journey into the depths of the mind fascinating, then you are already exploring the frontiers of your own consciousness. Share your thoughts in the comments about how long you believe you could survive in the total silence of the void. Ensure you subscribe and ring the notification bell to join us as we continue to peel back the layers of the human experience and uncover the mysteries hidden within your own mind. Your support allows us to keep exploring these dark corners together. Keep your senses sharp, for they are the only thing standing between you and the parallel reality of the void.